Welcome to my grave. Follow me to my basement where I'll tell you about some experiences and dreams I've had about them. Don't worry. That sound you heard is the door automatically locking behind you. I was about 5 or 6 when I heard my oldest brother calling me from the basement. I opened the door and peeked down. It was really dark, so I couldn't see anything. "What?" I called down into the darkness. My older brother used to try and scare me, so I figured that's what he was up to, and I wasn't about to fall for it this time. I flicked the light switch on, but nothing happened. I did this a few times. Then I heard him call my name again from the back corner of the basement. I was pretty creeped out now. Maybe he took the light bulb out or something. "I'm not coming down there," I shouted. Once more he called my name, but this time it didn't sound like my brother. It was deep and gruff. My heart raced as I quickly shut the door and ran to my room. It never happened again, and it turned out my brother wasn't even home. I've always had nightmares about the basements where I live. I'm not sure why. Some of them I've had no issue being in and haven't felt anything odd, but still, they're haunting my dreams. My family had moved a few times during my childhood. I had nightmares about this one basement most. It looked fairly scary. It was unfinished and a bit damp. In my dreams, I turned the light on and slowly creeped down the stairs, holding the railing tightly. I feel the darkness growing stronger with each step. My stomach turns into a black hole of anxiety and my heart sinks right into it. The whole thing feels wrong. I know something bad is going to happen, but I continue down. The setup of the basement can vary in these dreams. Sometimes it stays the way it is in real life, and sometimes there's extra rooms off of it. Sometimes the light doesn't work. Sometimes it flickers, and other times there's very dim to no light. I'm not sure why I go down there, but I know that I don't want to, but do it anyway. In my 100 subscriber personal story video, I talked a little about an experience on this topic. I will put the link in the description for that for anyone who hasn't heard it yet. One thing I didn't mention in that video was being followed. Whether I walked or ran up the stairs, I could hear someone behind me. Sometimes I would even feel a tug on my shirt or a hand on my skin, almost as if it didn't want me to leave. When I was in kindergarten, I had a friend a few doors down from me. She had a playroom in her basement that I hated being in, but never said anything. There were 2 rooms built down there. One was really dark, and the other was the playroom. It always felt like someone was watching, peeking in from the dark room. There was only a thin piece of drywall separating them. A few times I could have sworn I saw glowing eyes looking in. Whenever I was alone, I was almost too afraid to breathe, holding my breath and pretending that I didn't see or hear anything until my friend was back. My friend gave me a toy to bring home for a few days. I regretted accepting it once the nightmares started. In these dreams, I would be in the playroom alone and scared. I would get up to try and leave, but it was like there was an invisible barrier that kept me locked inside it. There was no door to the room, and I couldn't see out into the darkness. Slowly, some long fingers would curl around the wall, and a face would slide out from around it. So very slowly, it would look around the corner, keeping eye contact with me as I was frozen with fear. I would try to scream, but my mouth wouldn't even open. It stood there smiling at me. The few teeth it had were so pointy. Then its smile turned to a snarl as a deep, menacing growl fell from its lips. It never came into the room, and I couldn't leave it. What kept me trapped also kept me safe. I took the toy back to my friend's house, thinking it would rid me of these nightmares, but it didn't. It removed the invisible barrier. The last dream I remember, I was in the playroom again, still alone. The light flickered as darkness seeped in like fog. The hand crept around the wall and then its head. It stood in the doorway, blocking the only exit. Again it smiled, but this time it was that of victory. It let out a horrible war cry as it lunged at me, its hands reaching down my throat, suffocating me. I struggled to breathe until everything went black and I could hear the sound of a heart monitor flatlining. My body jerked and I woke up gasping for air with tears streaming down my face. I apologize for my inconsistent upload schedule. I will be back to schedule very soon. Thank you for coming by. Until next time.